everyone. It's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 11 and compare it against the iPhone XR and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you in 2024. Now, I will definitely tell you between these two devices, they're very interesting. They have their own type of capability and everything. Again, if you have more money, go for the 11. If you are on more on a budget, go for the XR. Well, let's go and see which one's the better one between both. If you want to pick up either one of these phones, though, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can also support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these iPhones, the iPhone 11 and the XR are very interesting. There's a lot of overlap here. The iPhone XR on the front had a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel on it, and it was a pretty basic display. It was probably one of the more controversial aspects of this particular iPhone. Now that this thing is like 6 years old now, it still hasn't, it's only aged worse for sure, but it's still not ugly. But a lot of phones have gotten a lot better since this thing. I mean, the iPhone 15's displays are very good. This one, on the other hand, the viewing angles aren't that great. The viewing angles aren't that great anymore. It's definitely more of an outdated looking device. The notch still isn't that great. And there's a lot more bezel around this type of device than the newer ones. And this one is looking more like the Samsung Galaxy A series phones that Samsung's making nowadays, which is kind of funny. With the iPhone 11, it's basically the same type of display. So it's same size, same basically everything as far as I know. Maybe it gets I don't even know if it gets brighter. It's basically the same type of display when it comes down to it. So there really isn't even that big of a reason to go and pick up this particular phone from a panel perspective over this one. There's a lot of other improvements for the iPhone 11, but the display, I mean, it was really the same thing. It's not an ugly display or a crazy bad display, but definitely you are getting almost the same type of panel on the front looking thing on both these phones. Now, for the rest of the bodies, you can definitely tell. I mean, kind of the same thing going on here too, to be honest. I mean, the thinness and thickness is about the same thing. I do have different colors looking, different looking colors of these two devices. You have the volume buttons, you have the mute on-off switches, you have the top and the bottom, I mean, basically the same thing. On the bottom, you have lightning ports, which is great. So you have the standard charging ports, so you can go ahead and just charge these things as you normally would. They do both support wireless charging, which is nice. But you do have the speaker grills here, which is really nice too. So basically the same type of stuff, not anything super crazy going on. On the back side, you do have your standard glass backs with your camera setups. So you have your dual camera setup on the top left of your iPhone 11. You have a single camera setup on the top left of the iPhone XR. So this is another really cool thing going on here too. So I do think personally for me, if I'm picking up some sort of device, I mean, both of these look great. Not really the biggest deal in the world between either one, but it is a really cool thing that you have here for the most part between both. So you have glass backs, which feel great. You have wireless charging on both of them too, which is really good too. You have IP certification, a lot of good stuff that is overlapping between both. So I do think that's a really, really nice thing going on between both these devices. So that particular perspective right there is another really cool thing going on for this particular phone. And I do think at the end of the day, both of them look great. They both feel very good in the hand as well. And I definitely do think that's a very, very cool thing going on for this particular device. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up here. Now, in terms of software and longevity, this is kind of the problem I would say that we get for this particular device. Between both, if you're getting, the iPhone XR or the iPhone 11, I mean, this is one of the issues I would say that you're getting between both these phones. They're not going to be lasting an insane amount of time anymore. And the iPhone XR has a higher likelihood of being unsupported with software more so than the iPhone 11. So if you're trying to get one phone over the other, definitely you're going to be getting a longer lasting phone from the iPhone 11 than the XR. But the other thing is the iPhone XR is the oldest supported iPhone on iOS 18, or on iOS 17 right now. So I'd hate for me to recommend a phone to people like the iPhone XR right now if it's already going to be outdated with software, maybe on iOS 18. Who knows? But definitely for sure, these two phones are supported right now. So if you need a phone for the next year or two, these two probably will be okay. But the iPhone 11 is definitely going to last longer than the iPhone XR. So that covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone XR has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 GB of RAM, where the iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one's a faster phone between both. Okay, let's get into speed comparison. Both these phones, as you can see, are kind of a little bit different. The iPhone XR, iPhone 11 here. Phone calls 321. Okay, about the same thing. Music 321. Okay, kind of a little bit of a difference here too. Let's go and do mail 321. Okay, that kind of covers it up there. Let's do photos 321. Okay, that kind of covers it up there. Camera 321. Okay, hopping out of here. Let's do news. Okay, Apple TV. What do I even have here? App Store 321. Now, I honestly don't even know which one's the faster one here. Okay, so the The iPhone 11, I think, more times than not, has probably been the faster one for the most part. Scrolling through here, I don't really think there's like a crazy big difference, kind of the same thing. Hopping out of these two, let's get into this app file 321. Okay, hopping out of here, let's do iTunes Store 321. Okay, kind of a little bit of a different experience there. We do have some third-party apps we can try out as well. Let's try Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And they're both downloading config, loading. Okay, I think the iPhone 11 was probably the faster one here, and the iPhone XR was a little bit slower here. Not the biggest deal in the world, but okay. So the iPhone 11 was the faster one. The iPhone XR was a little bit of a slower one. Nope, not the biggest deal in the world or anything like that. Let's try Genshin Impact, which I don't even think I have here anymore. I don't know what happened to that game. It's one of the most games that I tested for the most part. Subway Surfers 321. I don't know why the 10R is taking this long. Usually it should not be taking that long. Okay, so you can clearly see which one was the faster one here. Not really too sure what happened with the iPhone XR. Usually it doesn't take that long. That was a very, very weird thing that was going on with that particular device. Hopping out of here, let's go and get into some other apps. We do have Genshin Impact 321. So this game, we'll just wait until we get into the title screen. Definitely not, the smallest game of all time. It is a very, very big, popular game. And you can see even to get into the title screen, I think is probably going to be significantly faster on the iPhone 11. So the iPhone 11, I think, was the faster phone in most ways than the iPhone XR. It's still, there's a lot of overlap, but definitely the iPhone 11 is the faster one when it comes down to it. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of the cameras, both of them have interesting camera setups to say the least. The iPhone 11 does have that dual camera setup, a wide and ultra-wide camera. The iPhone XR, a single wide-angle lens. 4K at 60 on the back. You were getting 1080p on the front of the XR. The iPhone 11 is giving you 4K at 60 on the front. That is a pretty big thing, having that type of capability on the iPhone 11. The XR's camera was pretty okay when it first came out. Like, it was, kind of average. It really wasn't that great. It was kind of a downgrade from the iPhone 8 Plus, to be honest. You're getting standard zooming and capability, getting video mode, slow mode, time lapse, panorama mode, and portrait mode. So there's lots and lots of overlap, but lots of basic stuff here for the most part. Not anything super crazy, but it's kind of what you'd expect. Like, it's a pretty basic type of camera when it comes down to it. With the iPhone 11, this is a kind of an okay type of camera too. Like, this is a good camera, don't get me wrong, but it is better than the iPhone XR. So this type of phone, you are getting that ultra-wide sensor with 0.5x zoom, and you are getting 5x zoom inside too, which is really nice. Again, having that type of 5x zoom is really good, at least for this type of phone. Getting video mode, slow mode, time lapse, portrait mode, and panorama mode. So there is still lots and lots of good stuff going on with this particular phone as well. So without a doubt, I will definitely tell you, both these phones are very good, but I definitely do think the iPhone 11 is a significantly better phone than the iPhone XR. You're definitely going to be getting better battery life, better performance, a longer lasting phone, and better camera. This one definitely makes a lot more sense to go ahead and buy. I think the iPhone XR is a good phone for the price, kind of, but it's an older phone and it's kind of going to be done with software very soon. So I would probably go for the iPhone 11 for the most amount of people out there right now. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, Solon.